So now we're going to pick up where we left off from the last place that we stopped and take a look at the bottom of page 28. Now we may have gone over this a little bit before, but I wanted to make sure that you knew this chart here as far as the pairing of consonants that have almost like an identical twin except for the voicing, whether you use your voice or you don't. And I may ask you on the quiz, what is the voiced pair of P? Well, you would know that that's ba. Or the voiceless pair of da, and you would know that that's ta. The important thing for you to realize is that each of these consonant pair sounds have a twin sister, that the only thing that's different is whether your vocal cords are vibrating or not. They're in the exact same location. They are said in the exact same manner, whether you have a puff of air or you have a slow release of air or you have a stop of air. But they're identical except for the voicing. And so when you use letters to pronounce words, you can then know, is that silent? Is that voiced? Where is it? How is it done? So, p, b, t, d, k, g, f, v, th, v, s, z, sh, zh, ch, j, h, m. Although those aren't really, the H and the M are not necessarily a paired sound. They're just other consonant sounds like h, m, n, ng, l, r, wh, ya. Okay? So just be aware of that, kind of know this chart, so when you do take that part of the quiz that we're going to have, that you know that these, we call them minimal pairs, also called consonant pair sounds for this example. All right, we're going to go and look at the next part, which is Rule 3-7, right here. Okay? So, first it says, listen to the final voiceless and voiced consonant sounds. Can you hear the difference? Well, we have white, wide, white beaches, wide beaches. Neat, need, neat spaces, need spaces. Rope, tied the rope. Robe, tied the robe. Price, best price. Prize, best prize. Safe, safe neighborhoods. Save, save neighborhoods. Okay? When you listen to that, and then you can go to the recording 3-7 as well. It's going to be CD 1, track 19. And it's going to ask you the rule, okay? The difference between final voiceless and final voiced consonants can be hard to hear. The most obvious difference is in the preceding vowel. Preceding means the vowel that comes before it. So it's the vowel before the consonant, as an I before white, or the E sound before T, or the O sound before P, the I sound here, or the A sound in safe. Okay? So it also has you in CD1 track 20 to listen to our voiceless short vowels and our voiced longer vowels. So let's complete the rule. Vowel sounds longer before final voiceless or voiced consonants. Which of those vowels sounded longer, like you were holding it for just a fraction of a second longer, okay? You kind of spread it out a little bit. So, white, wide. You see how that vowel carries? It's almost like you have a rubber band and you're stretching that word longer. Hi, it's your teacher, Stevie Daniels. Let's take a look on page 29 and do a particular exercise that might be very helpful to help you determine short vowels when they come before a voiceless consonant when it's word final. So at the end of the word, if you have a voiceless consonant, then the vowel sound is going to sound short, okay? But if you have a vowel that comes before a voiced consonant at the end of the word, then you're going to have a longer vowel sound. So what I'd like for you to do is go get a rubber band. Go ahead, go run and get one. And let's do an activity together that will show you how to keep short vowels short when you have a voiceless consonant that comes right after it, and how you make a voiced vowel longer when it comes before a voiced consonant, okay? So let's have you do that. Got it? And everybody's on page 29? Good. Let's do that. Just check and make sure it's 29. All right. So we have the short vowel, lap, and the final consonant is p, which is voiceless, right? And the vowel that comes before that is a, and we're going to make it short because we have voicelessness coming right after it, okay? So we're going to turn off our vocal cord because p has no voice. So all voices have our vocal cords vibrating, but because we know a voiceless sound is coming up, we start to turn it off a little early. The opposite is true for voiced vowels that come before voiced consonants at the word final position. So since you will know that, oh, here comes a voiced consonant at the end of the word, then I'm going to keep my vocal cords running a little bit longer because I need that vibration to keep the voicing going for that final consonant that has voicing, okay? So you got your rubber band, put it between your thumbs like this, and let's do the activities together, see how you do. All right, first one is lap, voiceless consonant, right? So lap, lap. But now the voice consonant lab, b, in the word final position here also has the same vowel, a, but we're going to hold that vowel out a little bit longer because we're going to keep that voicing going through the vowel into the voiced consonant. So here we go, lab, lab. So you as a non-native speaker want to make sure that you are lengthening that vowel, because if you're not, your listener might be hearing lap when they should be hearing lab, okay? And the cue to the speaker, actually the cue to the listener, is as you lengthen that vowel, they know a voiced consonant is coming. So especially a native speaker is going to know the difference between lap and lab just because you lengthen that vowel, okay? Lap, lab. What's the next one here? It's let, right? Let, t. And then the sound before it is let. And then we have led, 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 let, led. Okay, you can see that, right? Okay, our next sound is lock, voiceless k, lock. So notice I turn off that vowel pretty quickly, lock. And the next one's log, because I want that voice to keep going through that consonant, right? Okay, bus, bus, buzz, bus, buzz. You can see that difference. And our next one is leaf, voiceless F, leaf, leaf, leave, leave. Okay, and for those non-native speakers, especially those that may have a little bit of a problem with the articulation of the V sound, some of my Farsi students sometimes have this challenge, I will call it, right? A lot of times the V becomes W because they're not used to putting their teeth on their bottom lip and turning on that voice and pushing the air through. Leave. Okay, so one more time on the rubber band. We got leaf. Do that a little better here. Leaf, leave. All right, well, I hope that helped you a little bit. And now that you can go back to our rule, and we're going to write our final rule on 3-7, and you'll be able to pronounce those sounds much better now. Okay, bye. So hopefully you decided that you're going to circle voiced, okay? Vowels sound longer before final voiced consonants. And here's your consonants. B, d, g, z, v. Those are all using your voice. So if you're going to have a final consonant and the vowel that comes before it gets stretched longer. But if you have a voiceless consonant, p, t, k, s, f. If you have a voiceless consonant, the vowel before it is very short. It's said more quickly and we don't stretch it out. Okay, so try doing these on your own. Really practice working on this. Don't try for speed, try for accuracy. Very good. So let's go on to our next rule and see what we have. Now, under something to think about, you're kind of familiar with this because in the Betty Botter lecture, the instructor was telling you exactly this rule. It says in North American English, the voiceless T sometimes sounds like a quick D. We call that a flap. A quick D if it's between two vowels, right? So we have an E and an A and an I and an E. And then we have a I and an A here. So if the T is between two vowels, a speaker will put it to D, a quick D sound. And the reasons for that is because vowels are already voiced. So since vowels are already voiced, it's hard for us to do a voiced vowel, then go to a T, then go back to a voiced vowel. It makes the speech of a person slow down. So to speak more quickly and efficiently, if we have a T between vowels, we just make the voiced sound of the T and the voiced sound of the T is a D, right? They're exactly the same except voicing. So we'll just turn on our voice to that T, which makes it a D. And so we have a voiced vowel, a voiced consonant, and a voiced vowel. And therefore your voice just keeps vibrating all through the word. Let's take a look at Rule 3.8. Now we have words that are spelled the same, but they're pronounced differently, and that can be very confusing to a non-native speaker. So let's see if we can complete the rule on this one, but let's say these together. And again, you can go to CD1 track 22 for the speaker's voice there if you want to listen. So these are nouns. Use. The use of my car is granted. The use. Okay? You can use my car. That's the verb. But the actual using of something is, we consider that a noun. So the use of bad language is prohibited in church. The use. Do not use bad language. Okay? So when I do a noun of that word, then it is going to be voiceless. I'm going to make that S voiceless. But if I'm going to make that same word into a verb, I'm going to vocalize it. And we know that verbs are action, right? So just think of making your voice active when you're using a verb. And we make our voice active by turning it on. It vibrates. Let's look at the next one. Okay, ready to do the next one? Let's do it. The next one is close. And close is actually an adjective. So if it's a noun or an adjective, and we're using a word that has the exact same spelling, but it can be used either as a noun or an adjective or a verb, the noun or adjective part is going to be the voiceless consonant. So close, close, that's the verb, close. Whew, that was a close call. Did you see that car? It almost hit me. That was close. Okay, that's an adjective. But, hey, honey, please close the door. Oh, I meant please close the window. All right. You better close that mouth, young lady. Okay, so close when you tell somebody to do it as an action, and close if you're talking about an adjective that describes how near something was. Okay? Then we have excuse. His excuse was not very good. Oh, sir, I'm sorry I stepped on your toe. Please excuse me. Well, lady, you have no excuse for bumping into me. Well, I said excuse me. Okay? Excuse is that thing that we make up a reason for doing what we do. Okay? I didn't turn in my homework. Why not? My dog ate it. You know, that whole thing. That's the excuse, the reason. So that's a noun. But when you want to be pardoned and have someone give you permission, actually more if it's a pardon, please excuse me, or if you want to interrupt a conversation, excuse me, that says, I'm just about to do something and I need your permission. Or I just did something and I need your forgiveness, okay? So, s for the noun part, and je excuse, we'll go with z, excuse me, all right? Abuse, that's a noun. The abuse of power is never good, so don't abuse it. Okay? Presidents are given a lot of power. Police are given a lot of power. Teachers are given somewhat power. Okay? But the abuse of that power is never acceptable. So teachers should not abuse that privilege. Police officers should not abuse their power. So you're going to use it as a verb, z. Use it as a noun, s. Okay, so let's take a look at the rule and see if we can complete it. So in the words above, the final consonants, and this is our S on this side, same, right? The final consonants are the voiced or voiceless in nouns and adjectives, or voiceless and voiced in verbs. So we know now, right? S. So the final consonants are voiceless in nouns and adjectives, and they are voiced in verbs, and that becomes z. Use, close, excuse, abuse. Okay? So very good. Now you have an opportunity to go and practice yourself. So you want to go to CD1 track 23, and you can put this in to practice and follow along with the speaker on the audio.